When money buys more and more of the good things in life, it's even harder to be poor. Putting a price on the good things in life leads to a condition where people of affluence and people of modest means lead increasingly separate lives. There are fewer and fewer places these days where people from different social backgrounds, different ethnicities, different economic classes encounter one another in public places and common spaces. I remember when I was growing up, I was a great baseball fan. And I would love to go see my home team play. And there were always seats that were more expensive and less expensive. But when I was a kid in the 1960s, the difference between the most expensive seat and the cheapest seat was, what would you guess? It was about $3. The effect of this is that going to a baseball game was a class-mixing experience. A baseball stadium was a place where everyone had to wait in the same long line to go to the restroom. Everyone had to eat the same soggy, stale hot dogs. And when it rained, everyone got wet. But then things changed. Over the last 3 decades, more and more stadiums began to build, well, we call them luxury skyboxes, camarote. And gradually, even the experience of going to a baseball game was less and less a place of encounter, of class mixing, an encounter of people from different backgrounds and walks of life. And when the privileged sit up in the camarote, far above the common people in the stands below, it's no longer true that everyone stands in the same long line to go to the bathroom. It's no longer true that everyone eats the same soggy hot dogs. And it's no longer even true that when it rains, everyone gets wet. Now, this wouldn't matter very much, except that something similar has been happening throughout our societies, not only in sports stadiums. I call it the skyboxification, the camarochificación, is that right? Of public life. It's not only in sports arenas. After a time, we find that people of affluence and people of modest means, we live and work and shop and play in different places. We send our children to different schools. This isn't good for democracy. And it's not a satisfying way to live, even for those of us lucky enough to be able to watch from the camarote. Here's why. Democracy does not require perfect equality. But what it does require is that people from different backgrounds, different walks of life, encounter one another, even bump into one another in the course of everyday life. Because this is how we learn to negotiate and to live with our differences. And this is how we come to care for the common good. And so in the end, the question about the proper role of markets is not mainly an economic question. It's really a question of how we want to live together